A woman from Greater Manchester has been jailed after falsely accusing 10 men of rape over a number of years, in a case the police say caused lasting damage to the lives of those involved and also risked undermining confidence among genuine victims of sexual violence. Stacey Sharples, 31, from Farnworth in Bolton, was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison after pleading guilty to 10 counts of perverting the course of justice at Bolton Crown Court. Police say the false allegations were made between 2013 and 2019 and involved 10 separate men from across Greater Manchester. According to Greater Manchester Police, most of those men were arrested, spent time in custody, and in some cases underwent intimate examinations, while almost all spent periods on police bail or under investigation before the claims against them were shown to be untrue. Investigators say the case against Sharples was only brought after officers had pursued all lines of inquiry and repeatedly found evidence that contradicted what she had told them. Greater Manchester Police said the decision to treat her as a suspect was not taken lightly and stressed that investigations of this kind are extremely rare. The force said the evidence pointed to what it described as a continuous and deliberate pattern of false allegations made in full knowledge of the consequences for the men involved. At sentencing, the court heard that the consequences for those falsely accused were severe. Victim impact statements described relationships breaking down, jobs being lost, contact with children being restricted, and serious deterioration in mental health. ITV reported that some of the men told the court they suffered what they described as mental breakdowns, and that one man said the experience left him considering taking his own life. The financial cost of the false allegations was also addressed in court. ITV reported that prosecutors described £120,000 as a conservative estimate of the cost to police and sexual assault health services of investigating the claims. That figure reflects not only the criminal inquiries themselves, but also the wider strain placed on public services that would normally be used to support people reporting genuine sexual offences. Some of the detail presented in court illustrated how varied the allegations were. ITV reported that in one case, a man spent 8.5 hours in police custody after Sharples accused him of rape following a prior consensual sexual encounter. In another, the prosecution said a man was falsely accused after no sexual contact had taken place at all. The court also heard that, in one incident, a man and his cousin were both accused after an argument about transport home. The police and the court both made clear that the men involved had been deeply affected long after the investigations ended. Greater Manchester Police published statements from several of the victims describing depression, anxiety, isolation, reputational damage, and long-term mistrust in relationships. Some said they had been disowned by friends or relatives, some lost employment, and others said they were prevented from seeing their children while inquiries were ongoing. In remarks reported from court, Judge Nicholas Clark said the allegations were, in his words, a wicked pack of lies. ITV also reported that the judge described the men as entirely innocent and said their lives had been blighted by what had happened. The sentence of 4.5 years was imposed on Wednesday, after Sharples had earlier entered guilty pleas to the 10 offences. One aspect of the case that police have emphasised strongly is the message it may send to people who have genuinely experienced rape or sexual assault. Greater Manchester Police said false accounts such as these can undermine confidence in the criminal justice system and risk deterring real victims from coming forward. But officers also stressed that reports of rape are taken seriously, that cases like this are extremely uncommon, and that genuine victims should not be put off seeking help or contacting the police. Detective Sergeant Stephen Gilliland, who led the investigation, said officers gave Sharples multiple opportunities to provide further explanation when the evidence did not match her account, because police understand that trauma can affect how victims remember and describe events. He said the case only proceeded once the evidence continued to show the reports were untrue and some of the falsely accused men wanted justice pursued. He also appealed directly to genuine victims and survivors, saying they should still seek support from police, charities, or specialist services. The case has also drawn attention because it touches on two difficult realities at once. On one hand, the court has heard about the very real harm done to innocent men who were falsely accused. On the other, police and prosecutors have been careful to underline that rape remains a serious and often underreported crime, and that false allegations are not representative of the vast majority of cases. Greater Manchester Police pointed to wider efforts it says it has made in recent years to improve outcomes for rape victims and survivors, while remaining evidence-led in every investigation. Tonight, then, the confirmed position is this: Stacey Sharples, 31, from Farnworth in Bolton, has been jailed for 4.5 years after admitting 10 counts of perverting the course of justice. The false allegations were made between 2013 and 2019 against 10 separate men, and the court has heard that the impact on those men included custody, bail, loss of work, family strain, and serious mental health consequences. Police say the case is exceptional, and they are urging genuine victims of sexual violence not to be discouraged from coming forward. If this report raises issues for anyone affected by sexual violence, support is available through the police and specialist support services. Greater Manchester Police also signpost services including St Mary's Sexual Assault Referral Centre, Greater Manchester Rape Crisis, and We Are Survivors.